Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host 𝙒𝙖𝙪. I apologize. I wasn't watching that. I had already gone online. Today, Sumit Peer is joining me. We're going to talk a little bit about this whole exaggeration of Atiq Ahmed. And what is surprising is now countries like Bahrain are starting to weigh in fact, their parliament, as a matter of fact. To understand this and who is actually driving all this stuff, let us welcome the guest of the evening, Sumit Peer. Sumit ji, namaskar and welcome to PGurus channel.
Namaskaram, sir. Namaskar to all, pranam to all, and vanakkam to all. Thank you very much for the invitation, sir.
You're welcome, Sumit ji. I'm a little bit concerned about this. Sumit ji, this is the third incident where the perpetrators have not been caught. There was one incident in Dhangri in February, and there was one other incident in last October, April, and people are still combing. Usually, you could catch them fairly quickly and take care of them. What is happening? What is different about these three attacks? A little bit more perspective, please.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the opportunity, because if we go deep into it, we find a few links which are joining. First of all, if you look at the invitation we had extended to Bilawal Bhutto, that was around 3 months back. Usually, if he's interested and if he really wants to come down for business, he should have accepted the invitation. Then the agendas are exchanged, common points are exchanged, a possible bilateral is being talked, some common points are discussed. What are your concerns? What is the SCO objective? Do we need to talk anything in between? So none of them happened. Suddenly, all of out of a blue, Bilawal Bhutto says that I am going to come to India. And exactly 6 hours after that, clock time, 6 hours that, there's a convoy which is passing through Poonch. And that comes under attack. So luckily, we didn't have a lot of people in the convoy. We unfortunately lost 5 of our bravehearts. Salute to them and may God grant peace to them. 𝗤𝙧𝙤𝙬𝘀𝘀𝑒 शांति दे. So first of all, we see there is a fire because it is a rainy season, and it's rainy season and the roads are a bit clumsy. The visibility is not much. It's a hilly terrain. So first of all, it's ambush. People start firing from all the corners. When the truck carrying the soldiers kind of halts, then an RPG attack is used. When the RPG attack is used, it catches fire. The fuel tank of the truck is targeted so that it catches fire. Then again the firing happens. So the people within the truck also retaliate. Our Jawans also retaliate. But in the process, we lose 5 of them and 1 is critically injured. Now, eventually they run into the forest nearby. Now, there is an organization called PAFF. It is an affiliate of Jaish-e-Mohammed. Jaish-e-Mohammed has around 12 affiliates. It is one of them. It is based out of POJK. They have taken the responsibility of it. And if you look at the name, People's Anti-Fascist Front, the name looks a bit Chinese. Some kind of Chinese inclination looks to be there. Now, the combing through drones and the helicopters is happening. We are trying to get them. These people who are attacked belong to Rashtriya Rifles. Now, there's an unwritten rule in India. If you fiddle around with Rashtriya Rifles, you've signed your death warrant. All these people who have done it, it's a matter of time, they'll be all killed. We are looking around them. But there are 2 or 3, points which are shaky. The first point is, sir, now in J&K, we have started finding Chinese ammunition. Chinese grenades, Chinese RPGs, Chinese pistols. Here, the bullets, the empty cases of the bullets have a Chinese marking. Even the RPG used has a Chinese marking. Now the question is, Pakistani army is giving Chinese-made ammunition to these terrorists because the Pakistan's ammunition factories are busy making weapons for Ukraine, because that's what the Pakistani ammunition factories are used. So a visible Chinese hand is somewhere being seen in all this. And this is 5th or 6th time where we see a Chinese footprint. Now, a couple of days back, we caught a drone in Jammu. Again, the weapons had a Chinese ceiling. Before that, we caught one more drone. It was carrying drugs. We have a Chinese ceiling. Now, this is one part of the story. Another similarity. Now, this attack is very similar to the attack what we had in Pulwama. Exactly the same pattern, almost the same pattern, the same. Now, what is the similarity, Shri sir? At the time of Pulwama, if you remember, Asim Munir, the current army chief, was the head of ISI. Asim Munir is the only one who is head of ISI, who is head of military intelligence, who is head of the army chief. And this time when the attack happened, Asim Munir is the head of Pakistani army. And just 2 or 3 days back, he had a surprise visit to LOC. Now, if you recall our earlier discussion, I was hinting at one thing. Why was Atiq killed? What was Atiq going to reveal? What was Atiq's revelation? Because if you look at the Atiq incident, Atiq's crime was there. Atiq was a gangster. Abduction, affairs, murder, atrocities, rapes, everything was there. His rivalries were there. What changed with Atiq? Atiq just said in court two things. First, he has links with ISI, he has links with Lashkar-e-Toiba, he has links with Jaish-e-Mohammed. These three names he has taken in front of a judicial magistrate in a court of law. Then, in Umesh Pal's murder, the weapons which he got, they were supplied by ISI through drones, through Lashkar-e-Toiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed. Before the day he was killed, he helped Prayagraj police to locate a lot of cache of weapons where they were hidden. And most of them were imported weapons. Point number 4, he said that I'll help you to tell you where the things are being smuggled from Rajasthan. Now, if you look at the traditional smuggling routes from Pakistan, first, the most active route was Andaman. We blocked the Andaman route. Now, second active route was Cheti Bandar from Gujarat. Now, we blocked that road. In fact, in Gujarat, you must have seen around 2 months back, Prime Minister Modi told that we'll be building one more airport from the airport we have. A lot of people ask me a question, why are we building an airport 100 kilometers away? It takes jet, maybe 3 minutes to cover 100 kilometers, because that was to have surveillance, that was to have fly drones, that was to fly reconnaissance aircraft so that we could stop the Cheti Bandar route, which is being used by Pakistan to push drugs into India. Now, when thousands of crores of drugs are caught at our various ports, the money was supposed to be used by the terrorists and the mafia for carrying their activities. And unfortunately, in our country, when we catch thousands of crores of drugs, millions and millions of hundreds of millions of dollars of drugs, even the opposition parties of the country still object to that. Why are you catching drugs? Now, the drug money doesn't go to a bank. Drug money doesn't go to anybody who is white-collared. It goes to mafias. It goes to terrorists. That is the quantum of opposition we are facing here. This is a very unique country where when we catch drugs or we destroy drugs, there's an opposition. Why are you catching drugs? Why are you destroying drugs? Now, last discussion we discussed, sir, what was Atiq going to reveal? Why was Atiq killed? What changed with Atiq? And I had predicted that your channel and a couple of other channels that we have credible intelligence, sir, that in G20, Pakistan is going to strike in and around G20, and it will be RPG or it will be a grenade-based attack. I had said this. Even I had said in a couple of Pakistani channels that this is what is going to happen. Now, exactly, you see the accuracy. It's a clock accuracy. Bilawal Bhutto says, I am going to come. Now, and suddenly within 6 hours, we have this attack. Now, the attack could not have been planned in 6 hours. Why did this attack only happen when Bilawal said he will come? Why not before? Why not after? And obviously, the Bilawal has to take the approval from the establishment. When we talk of establishment, it is the Pakistan military, it's the Pakistan army. They have to take the approval from that. So when they gave approval to Bilal, at the same time, they were coordinating this attack. And the attack was done. Now, perpetrators will be caught and gunned down. That is not a problem. Whoever is on our side of the border, it's a matter of time, we will kill them all. But what I am worried about, who are the people who have orchestrated this attack? Now, what is happening on the Pakistan side? 3 important developments, sir. First thing, all the camps, terrorist camps around the line of control have been emptied. The people have been evacuated. The terrorists have been evacuated. This is credible intel we have got from our sources and from international intelligence agencies as well. Point number 2, the launch pads are empty. Point number 3, all the forward radar bases have been activated. Point number 4, there have been array of meetings at GHQ Rawalpindi. Now, if Pakistan has nothing to do with this, Pakistan has nothing to do with Atiq's killings, ISI is not involved, why terrorist camps are empty? Why radar bases are activated? Why there are meetings in GHQ Rawalpindi? Because what they are fearing is Indian retaliation. Now, it's a matter of time we will retaliate. In my opinion, I have no information, but in my humble opinion and in my intellect, we will retaliate. But will it be by land? Will it be by sea? Or will it be by air? Pakistan is preparing for a possible Indian retaliation because knowing Prime Minister Modi, they know he will retaliate. The retaliation is not only confined to our area, sir. Wherever these guys are, we'll hunt down one by one and kill them all. There's no doubt on that. But the people who have carried this, the instructions who have been given, and wherever their assets are, will go and neutralize them. And incidentally, this Jaish-e-Mohammed is the same which is headed by Maulana Masood Azhar. It is the same guy we eliminated in Balakot. is the same guy whom we eliminated here. Now, if we join the dots, Bilawal coming, and incidentally, let me take you to one more thing. Very recently, I saw a video and I was completely baffled. Shri sir, what happened in that video? I have seen one very surprising thing. You know what? This Hina Rabani Khar, Miss Khar, the Deputy Foreign Affairs Minister of Pakistan, she went to see the Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov. Now, Russians have 10 people on the table. They have 10 people on the table. And Miss Khar is alone. Mr. Rala, the Russian Foreign Minister, Mr. Lavrov, tells her, where is your team? Where is your delegation? She says, no, I am the only one. Then he kind of laughs and says, but, for these things, we need to have a uniform engagement. Then she says, Pakistan is a small country. We are not as big as Russia. So that's why I came along. That talks about the seriousness of Pakistani diplomacy. Even if you look at Bilawal's visit, it is mere mockery. We have 8 working days or 7 working days to the summit. What agendas can be exchanged? What things can be discussed? What will be the common points? What will be the objection handling? What will be the common minimum agenda? What will be the common minimum agreement? What will be the basic points to be discussed? What is the priority of the points? What is the arrangement of the points? What do we agree? What do we not agree? And what is the agenda of SCO? Can we have a bilateral? No. Can we have a trilateral? No. Can we talk anything constructive? Answer is no. This Bilawal Bhutto is only coming here on the behest of Pakistan army for mockery. Remember, Shri sir, when we had an NSA meeting in Tashkent, wherein Ajit Doval ji went to US, he met the US NSA, then even the Chinese and all met, and even Vladimir Putin meets Ajit Doval. At that point of time, Pakistan felt they are out of the group. They have been eliminated, and Afghanistan is being discussed and deliberated, and Pakistan is out of the game. Now, out of compulsion, this Bilawal Bhutto comes here and tries to score brownie points. Look, Pakistan is here. We don't know even who is coming with him. We don't know what is the agenda. We don't know what is the team. If Bilawal, if Mr. Bhutto, if you are serious, then you should have said 3 months back, do we have to teach you diplomacy? If you are amateur, if you don't know how diplomacy works, come and take tuition from Dr. Jaishankar. He might teach you something. Do you think an international forum like this is a mockery wherein 7 days before you said, okay, I'm coming and we will talk something, and your PAFF, which is backed, which is an affiliate of Jaish-e-Mohammed, does this attack on our soil? Do you think we don't understand what the hell is happening? And people in Bahrain are giving you cover fire? What is the business of Bahrain with Atiq? Atiq was a dreaded gangster. And according to UP police, there are 20 of his top people whom he really inflicted a lot of injury, including murder, land grab, atrocities. Sri sir, you'll be surprised to know out of 20, 13 are Muslims. Top 13 are Muslims. Did Atiq not do atrocities against Muslims? Yes, he did. Did he not take land of Muslims? He did. He didn't even spare his relatives. Even his relatives were not spared by them. This is not aspersions I'm casting. This is on our national media. He didn't even spare his relatives. Now, and BBC, by the way, Shri sir, the great BBC, British Broadcasting Corporation, the great, they said, Atiq is the Robin Hood. He's the Robin Hood. Atiq was painted as Robin Hood. Now, where from do gangsters have religion? So, if you are a Muslim and you're a gangster, is there an exception in the IPC that if you're a Muslim gangster, your Indian Penal Code doesn't apply on you? Is there an exception in the Indian Constitution? You're a Muslim and a gangster, so you're above the Constitution. No, nobody will touch you. Now, what is this? What is this lionization of Atiq happening? What is this making an Atiq and martyr? What kind of mockery is happening here? And when we talk of the murder of Umesh Pal, nobody talks about that. When we talk of the murder of Raju Pal, in Raju Pal's murder, Sri sir, even on his dead body, Atiq's gunman fired. What is happening here? And incidentally, one last point. There was one dreaded gangster, Aditya Rana. He was killed by UPSTF. Nobody is talking about Aditya Rana. It's because Aditya Rana is Hindu. There's no problem. Atiq is Muslim. The hell has broken loose. What kind of a mockery are we talking here? What the hell is happening? And what has Bahrain got to do with all this? This is really shattering my brains. Bahrain, what is your loca here? Who the hell are you to intervene in our internal affairs? Law and order is our problem. We'll manage our law and order. We are not asking for your help. What is your goddamn business in this?
Sumitji, a few things that come to my mind. Number one, the bodies got charred. It was raining outside, And I'm curious if there was some sort of an accelerant that was used as part of the missiles that hit the van. Because think about it, sir. Poor guys didn't die from bullet wounds. They got burnt, and that's one of the worst forms of death. I mean, you can aim the RPG at the petrol tank, but please realize, viewers also, petrol tank, the petrol needs oxygen to burn. The tank is inside. There is special protection such that the oil won't come out just like that. Otherwise, your scooter will be in danger, your car will be in danger. My point in saying all this is that um, this there seems to be an angle to, some sort of an accelerant that speeds up the burning process. It's raining then, so water is also going to dampen things. So my concern here is last three incidents now. India hasn't really said anything. Maybe they have solved it, but they don't want to say, because sometimes you don't want to, show your hand. The other interesting thing you noticed was, you mentioned, was that the outermost posts were all not flanked. Surely, Sumitji, if this is not a line of international border, but it is LOC, which most likely it is all India's land. Why didn't India just walk in? You don't have to kill back to kind of say that, okay, we will take revenge. This is our land. You just walk in. If they don't have anybody in the front post, just go in half a kilometer every time. There are many ways to hit back. And the third thing here about what you said about Bahrain, right? India can ignore what Bahrain is saying. India will, of course, officially protest. But what they are trying to do is that Middle East population of Indians, especially Hindu Indians, right? They want to keep them in a perpetual state of unease. That is exactly what the Bahraini parliament thing is done. Because what will happen, four guys who are from Bahrain or some Bangladeshi guy, some other XYZ lumpen, he will see an Indian Hindu guy at work. They know from the names that this guy is Hindu, this guy is not. And they'll start taunting you. This is a mental pressure that they're trying to apply. I don't know how India is going to solve this thing. I do know India is now beginning to flex its muscles. I'll give you an example. I'm sorry, I'm coming to the question. Just 1 second, Sumitji. I want people to understand. Yeah, I want people to understand that India isn't just exactly keeping quiet. A lot of things you have to connect the dots to understand the impact. UAE was importing wheat from India, and it was re-exporting it. You know what India did about a year ago? Said the import is only for your use. You cannot re-export it. They signed it in writing. UAE signed it in writing, saying that we will not re-export this. I don't have to tell you where it was getting re-exported to. So this is what India has to do. Just like the way palm oil ban from Malaysia dethroned Mahathir Mohamad, India has to hit back at some of these countries and show them the way that don't talk nonsense. We will do it by karma. Baat se kuch hota nahi hai. So this is just my 2 cents, Sumit. So if they abdicate the frontline positions, I think India, especially in LOC, it's all India's land. Just walk in. There are no inhabitants there. There is no thing about, we have to have another 1 lakh Muslims to manage. No. When you are in the front positions, these people, nobody lives there. You just go in and they move. You keep defying the front away and away. This needs to be done. I don't know what the Indian government is thinking. First of all, my other big beef, sir, is how did the convoy of one go through? Let's go from there. Why was there just one convoy? Usually there's 3 or 4 trucks, isn't it?
Yeah. Usually, sir, let me go a little bit back. Now, in one of my interactions on the media, I was discussing about this Satpal Malik's, interview, the infamous interview where he talked a lot the convoys and all. There I made a point. I say, even if the convoy lands, if you land in Srinagar airport, then you have to go to Pulwama, you have to go to Kupwara, you have to go to Handwara, you have to go to Uri, you have to go to everywhere, where you will go in convoy. So the risk of convoy getting hit is always there. Usually, after Pulwama, this kind of a pattern is what we have seen very rare. We have seen such patterns happening in the northeast, good old days, not in this side, not in the northern side of the country. Now, that's why I was hinting to Asim Munir. Asim Munir at the time of Pulwama was the head of ISI. Asim Munir is the head of now Pakistan Army, and he has been head of military intelligence, head of ISI, and head of Pakistani Army. He's only one with all 3 distinctions. There has been nobody before them with him. His surprise visit to LOC Now this FA, this new organization taking the responsibility. Now this affiliation to Jaish-e-Mohammed, now we are trying to hunt them down. We don't have any official confirmation from the military how many of them have been killed, but I'm very sure whoever is here has been killed. Now this convoy, I think there were a couple of trucks, but they only targeted one truck, and that's one. And maybe the truck was a little bit ahead or behind. We don't even have the details out of that. We know the truck was targeted. We know even after it caught fire, the firing happened. They were firing the shots, and then they disappeared into the forest. Now the thing is that India has to retaliate. India will retaliate, but we will choose the time and place of our liking. We will not retaliate when Pakistan thinks. Now today, Pakistan, yesterday I was on a Pakistan media, they asked me, how are you going to retaliate? I say, wait and watch. Will it be air, will it be sea, or will it be land? Because we will retaliate. We will settle this score, because if you come and attack us, and if you, again, we have to see, sir, we have to see that G20 is in the light. What are the impression they are trying to give? If the army convoy is attacked, if we lose 5 of our bravehearts, we lose 5 of our brothers, the information, the message to the whole world is that J&K is not safe. An army convoy in J&K can be attacked. 5 army men can be killed. So if you are going for G20 there, anything can happen to you. I mean, that is the bigger message what they are trying to convey. And we had intel that, RPGs or grenades might be used. We had even intel that the local gangs, what I was hinting earlier in your show, that local gangs might be employed to be employed to carry out these hits, because there was a nexus forming in India wherein terrorists, local gangs, some politicians, and some law enforcers, where there was a dangerous cocktail of these 3-4 people getting together and trying to perpetuate a lot of violence, where a terrorist cannot go, a local gang can go, wherein these politicians will give them the patronage, and these law officers or the officers who are able, who are supposed to hold the law, will also give a little bit of help and give a little bit of intel and access. There have been 72 crackdowns, if you remember, 3 months back, which were done by NIA across the India. The idea was to break this cartel, because this cartel had been slowly started forming. And Mr. Amit Shah has very clearly said that Prime Minister Modi has a vision that no organized crime will be allowed in India. After that, there were another 22 crackdowns which happened, again on this nexus, and a lot of things happened. Now, go back slightly when we are talking about 227,000 kilograms of ammonium nitrate found by National Investigation Agency in West Bengal. We have been talking of 81,000 detonators found by National Investigation Agency, which is a national body or a national police for the sake of understanding in West Bengal. And the West Bengal police and the West Bengal LIU have no intel about it. And one person who is caught has relations with a local politician there. Now, if you go into the details, Sri sir, where did this kind of an ammonium nitrate come from? There is only one country which it could come from, and where it could be smuggled from, that is China. Only China makes such huge quantities of ammonium nitrate. In India, we don't make such huge quantities of ammonium nitrate. So this ammonium nitrate from China, now this Atiq's killing, now this Chinese bullets, Chinese RPGs, maybe there was an enhancing agent. I don't know. We don't have any intel on that. What caused the so rapid fire? How did the rapid fire go up? Or maybe in the truck there was some ammunition also which they were carrying, and when the RPG hit, ammunition caught the fire. We don't have an idea. We cannot confirm or deny what exactly happened. But this is a worrying sign, and this all gets linked line by line. Atiq, Bilawal Bhutto, 6 hours of attack, G20, we know there's intel, ammonium nitrate, detonators, intel warnings about RPGs and hand grenades, and then attacking the convoy, because everybody in India knows one thing. If you fiddle around with Rashtriya Rifles, you are signing your death warrant. You are a dead man walking. It's a matter of time. We will kill you all. That I can share with all the conviction. But still daring to do this, what made Pakistan in such a situation to do it? Pakistan, if you look at a paradigm of a war, Pakistan doesn't have food, they don't have fuel, they don't have money, they don't have ammunition, they don't have geopolitical support, they don't have even food for their army, they don't have even ammunitions, they have nothing. If you look at 10, 20 parameters, what you need to go to war? Pakistan lacks all the 20. But see the amount of desperation, see the amount of that Hindu hatred, see the amount of things that are happening. And what really baffles me, what is Bahrain going to do with this? What does Bahrain know about Atiq? Does Bahrain know that when Raju Pal was killed, when Atiq sent 15 of his men to shoot his dead body? I mean, that is the kind of things what has been nothing doing. That do they know what Atiq did to the Muslims of the country? No. Are you trying to hit India using Atiq as a billboard ball? Is Atiq a ball on the billboard? Is that what is being you're trying to use? And is that, I mean, why is, if a gangster is killed, Vikas Dubey was killed, he was a gangster. Aditya Rana was killed, he was a gangster. What makes Atiq different? What is so different about Atiq? And these things happening in around our G20. Bilawal Bhutto saying he wants to come. Bilawal Bhutto has not signed any agenda. The kind of tamasha they did with the Russian delegation, now that tamasha they are willing to do in India, I don't know what is his agenda. Is he again going to bring up Kashmir? I'm very sure Srisar, he doesn't even know what is the agenda of SCO. And last time, when he was supposed to beating Mr. Lavrov in Russia, he was busy doing some political rallies and meeting some NGOs in Karachi or Islamabad. I mean, that is the foreign minister. We're talking 35 years of old age, and he's known in all the London's, those strip clubs and all high profile, those, clubs, you know what I mean. He's more known there than more known in diplomatic circles. Now, the question is that what you importantly raise is that what are we going to do? My answer to that is, in my opinion, we are going to retaliate. We will retaliate. We will settle the score. And this time, Pakistan has to wait what is coming and hit them. And when will we do it? I think, in my opinion, it will be before the G20 meeting, because we don't take shit lined up. If Pakistan thinks they can come and attack, and this new organization is affiliated to Jaish-e-Mohammed think they can do their things. By the way, this organization also has animosity with ISIS. And they have been also fighting with ISIS and all that. Now, the challenge here is, who are the people who are with them? It could not have been done without the local support. I have been always advocating one thing, Sri sir. Terrorism is like a fruit. It's like apple tree. If you keep on plugging the apples, like killing the terrorists, new apples will keep on coming. What do you need to do? Get rid of the branches, get rid of the leaves, get rid of the stem, and get rid of the roots. If collaborators are not treated as terrorists in the same breath, it does not matter who pulls the trigger, who gives the car, whose house is used, who gives the money, who gives the shelter, who gives the political patronage, who gives the legal amenities, who gives them a cover fire. These all people have to be taken as terrorists. We need something like a Patriot Act, what you have in the United States of America, so that we can take them out before they can take us out. This is completely meant, Sri sir, to derail our G20, to send alarm bells across the world, to get Kashmir back on the trajectory, to get Kashmir back on the international media, and to let the world know, look how vulnerable things are in J&K in India. That is the bigger plan of IS. And if Asim Munir thinks that he will get away with it, no, Mr. Asim Munir, you hear it from us. We are coming. Wait. Intezar karo. We'll come and tell you where you belong.
Thank you, Sumit ji. Last observation. See, there's also another angle here that perhaps many of us realize it. Maybe we're not saying it loud, and I'm going to air that here. What was the unit that was attacked? Rashtriya Rifles. If you remember, in many recent interviews across different YouTube channels, there has been mentioned that Rashtriya Rifles is really like the tip, really smart, very, very hardened fighting weapon that India has to take care of terrorism. So somehow try and dent it, number one. Second, look at the people who died. 5 people died. 4 of them are Sikhs. So right now, that Khalistani movement is gaining, is being funded, fueled. We are taking care of a lot of those incumbent lumpens, but it is still, by the way, India is acting by the way, US is acting much faster on these things than India has ever done. So India also has some problems. Another thing, Sumitji, for 7-8 years, I have been writing, columnists in PGurus have been writing about how Rohingyas have been strategically placed in and around Jammu. Not one guy has been deported so far, Sumitji. I'm sorry, I'm not very happy with this Modi government. I know we are trying our best to try and show what is happening, but you have to have a process. Even in the United States, 1 million people come in, 500,000 go back. They get deported. There are ways to do this thing. The US has established a process that if you have been determined to have entered the country illegally, you are out. You have to go out. So these kinds of things have to happen in India also. I'm hoping that this is something that is a lesson that India will act faster. Sumitji, with your permission, let's take some questions. We're already 30 minutes into the program.
Sure. I want to make one comment, sir, before we go.
Please go ahead.
Sir, the problem is, I'll tell you one thing. Before the abrogation of Article 370, Jammu, especially, was encircled with Rohingyas.
Yes.
Now, a Rohingya entering from Assam or Calcutta illegally, now how does he or she know she has to reach Jammu? It is around 3,000 kilometers away. How does he or she know he will get a ration card there? The problem, and again, what we are facing, sir, I'll be very blunt and upfront with you, is that before the abrogation of 370 and 35A, the government of the day, you or a president of India or any person from Tamil Nadu or Andhra or a Karnataka or an MP or a UP could not get an inch of land there. A girl marrying out of J&K will not, her all rights are taken. But these Rohingyas were given ration cards. They were given these domicile certificates. Rohingyas exactly knew where to go and settle. Now, recently in Nainital, the railway was trying to evacuate a land. And on the both sides of the land, there is Muslim colony. And they went to the Supreme Court saying, oh, this is how come we are evacuated? We are living there for 70 years. But what the hell? I mean, if you are living there for 70 years, if railway needs this land, you have to evacuate the land. The land doesn't belong to you.
So what happened in that case? What happened in that case finally?
In that case, I think it is still pending in the Supreme Court. I think we are awaiting the judgment. A lot of cases, the evacuation has been done. A lot of cases, they are still there. This blatant use of human right, this play of minority card, this kind of, because we are Muslims, we are targeted. Because we are Muslims, we are targeted. Even in that locality, there are 15% Hindus. But if you have a Hindu colony and railway needs to kind of get its land evacuated, we don't see any problems. But if it's a Muslim colony, then the hell starts breaking loose. Not only there, if you see at Uttaranchal, there are some strategic areas where Rohingyas have taken control. If you look at this Himachal border areas, there are these bridges where around you have suddenly seen Rohingya colonies. Now, recently, Mr. Amit Shah has ordered CBI to file a report about all this, what is happening here. It is a problem which is brewing. And even when we had this Assam and Arunachal border dispute, there was once a exchange of fire between the two forces. And if you look at the buffer zone, this was all occupied by Rohingyas. And Rohingyas were the people who were holding arms. And Rohingyas were the people who kind of were, orchestrating all this. Now, Rohingyas is a threat to the national security. I am very sure something should be done, would be done very fast. And I am saying one thing with a lot of conviction, sir. This attack would not be done without local support. In my opinion, who the hell is involved there locally is an equal terrorist. I don't give a damn who pulled the trigger. Whoever gave the logistic support, whoever helped them, should be treated as a terrorist and should be dealt exactly the way we deal with terrorists. This Rashtriya Rifle should be given all this thing. And you are talking about the Sikh. This one of our Sikh brothers who got killed, his father got martyred in Kargil and the son got martyred in Punch. And I tweeted about the person. And yet they say Sikhs are Khalistanis. And yet they say Sikhs are not patriots. And yet they say you want to see all the Sikhs are Khalistanis. These are the people. These are the Sikhs. I said the Sikhs are the most valiant and most honest, race in India. They are a martial race. Father martyred himself for India. The son martyred himself for India. This is what Sikhism is about. This is what true Sikh is about. This is what the Khalistanis should know. There are a lot of things we need to improve. We need to get tough. We need to get cracking. With I am saying again, sir, with dreaded criminals and terrorists, they have no human rights. Unless and until we get this piece of information loud, clear, and get straight in our heads, amply clear, the country's law and order mechanism does not change. Dreaded criminal and a terrorist are equal because their modus operandi, their motives, their mission is equal. For the sake of God, why Atiq was not a terrorist? Why Atiq was not a terrorist? What did he do what a terrorist doesn't do? I mean, these people, when they use the law, Sessions Court, High Court, Supreme Court, this court, that court, amnesty, human rights. I mean, there is time we need to get reforms in the law. There is time we need to do police reforms. How Atiq can be treated? What about his human rights? What about the people he has killed? What about a person who was wearing a uniform and got killed by Atiq? What about Umesh Pal? Did Umesh Pal deserve to die? What about Raju Pal? Did a MLA Raju Pal deserve to die because he defeated Atiq's brother? What about these terrorists? These terrorists have all the goddamn human rights in this world, but a J&K police wala wearing a uniform has no human rights. Our Indian Army Jawan has no human rights. Our CRPF Jawan has no human rights. What about their families? What about their right to live? What is happening here? Only these gangsters, dreaded criminals, and people like, terrorists have human rights. The people like you, me, Indian Army, paramilitary forces, police, we have no human rights because we are not carrying a gun. They carry a gun and they enjoy all the human rights. We are law-abiding, tax-paying citizens, and yet we are the sufferers. This thing has to change, sir. This needs a reform. I'm sorry, I'm
Also,
being.
no, I see. I also want to tell all our voting brothers and sisters, especially those of you who voted Congress in Himachal Pradesh. You all serve the country. Yet you found it in your wisdom to vote a party that sends its leader to London and he says, "Help us throw the elected government in India." I mean, what sort of message are you giving when you keep on voting these kind of lumpens? And the same message is going to Karnataka. So now I'm hearing the going rate is 10,000 rupees per vote. DK Shumar, what? He has got a mint in his house or what? And what did the Modi government do? I have myself printed so much data about DK Shivkumar being the money bags man of all these bloody congressmen. What has the government done? I'm sorry, I'm also getting a little emotional because मैंने पूरा banana peel करके लेखा दिया है, कुछ खाते नहीं है लोग. So I am also not happy with the way this government runs its business in the home. I leave it at this point. Let's take some questions now.
Sure.
Sumit Peer I Vikas Kumar wants to know, you have stated that in our country has about 40,000 Brahmos. However, the budget available is just not enough for such large inventory. Can you please throw more light on this aspect? Because we can't tell all these little inside details here. You know one thing, money is being created. Just 1 second. Huh? Money is being saved because our import crude, which is the biggest import, right? We are getting a dividend in price there. So, and that is not being passed to you at the pump. So there is money there. Don't worry. Please go ahead. आप बोलिए.
मैं बोलता विकास जी नमस्कार. Sir, the thing is as such. You see, we do not declare anything about this. This was a report by the Chinese think tanks, which are affiliated to the government, that India has thousands of Brahmos, and they advise Chinese government, do not touch India because this is the kind of inventory we think India has. I'll give you one more number, Vikas ji. Sir, if we import all the crude from Russia, which we are not importing, or importing some 30-40%, the quantum of saving, imagine for a while if you're importing all the crude from India, from Russia, first we pay in rupees. Second, if you do this back of envelope calculation, we save $54 billion. $54 billion a year. So India has the money and the cost of the missile. And when you look at an OEM business, which I have been working in for some time, if you look at this iPhone, for example, this might cost $2,000, but the PCB inside is not more than $100. But the selling price must be $2,000. That is how the OEM business works.
Huge
So
margins.
If the Brahmos is sold for let's say $10 million example, the cost might not be on 1/20th of that. So when we buy for ourselves, we buy at the cost. When we sell at the selling price. So there's a big arbitrage in between, sir.
Also, viewers, please watch my interview with General Ravi Shankar about Brahmos. Very, very informative. You will get a lot of idea about what happened, how it started, and where it stands. An excellent expose without telling a lot of the important details, but very, very good grounding on Brahmos missiles. General Ravi Shankar's interview with me on PGurus. Next question, please. Rahul Rathod wants to know, should India consider hitting terrorist leaders like Hafiz Saeed, Mansoor Azhar, etc., like US does, instead of hitting camps like Balakot, because Pakis can mass produce terrorists in their factory?
Rahul ji, namaskaram. There are two schools of thought to it. First of all, logically, yes, hit them, kill them. I'm all for it. Eliminate them. And we have now got these from General Atomics. We have got the Reaper and MQ-9 and MQ-9A and MQ-9B drones, which are very competent. Those are the same drones which took down Qasem Soleimani. Now, but there's a school of thought in the intelligence. The school of thought is like this. Usually, when you know a Hafiz Saeed, Masood Azhar is dead. To best of my knowledge, I have not seen him after Balakot. So possibly he's with the dust. His DNA and dust has worked together and got into the soil of Balakot. But if you talk about Hafiz Saeed, by the way, Hafiz Saeed is in house arrest in Gulbarga, or I think Gulera is the name where he lives. He's not in a Pakistani jail as per my sources. So Pakistan is bluffing he's in a jail. That's point number one. Secondly, when you have the top leader, usually the intelligence agencies try to keep the top leader intact and keep on eliminating people below him. Because by that time, over the years, you understand the mindset, you understand what he thinks, you know his weaknesses, you know his strengths, you know his pattern of acting and operating. So you don't want to eliminate him and get a new person where you need enough time to think, observe, and know his tactics. So usually you might keep the top man intact and the second layer, third layer, fourth layer you start eliminating them. That is the usual mechanism which world war intelligence agencies take. So I don't know which will be the Indian way of doing it, but elimination of enemies across the world of India has happened. If you look at last 3-4 months, I don't know who's doing them, I don't know who is ordering them, but it is all itch of Lord Mahakal. He's the Swami of time. Whenever he wants, any person can die. It's all Maya.
Next question, please. Kamalak Shinoy wants to know, why is Modi government failing to communicate to people via media clearly about solid facts, be it CAA, be it scores of Muslim victims of Atiq farm bill, etc., or is it saying that it cannot communicate?
Well, Mr. Shinoy, namaskaram. The point here is that...
Hey, they are not BJP guys, okay? We are not BJP spokespersons. Please understand that. Pleis go ahead, Sumit ji.
So I'll explain the two things. You see, first of all, when you're talking about the CA is something pending. I have no idea why we have not enacted the laws. We should have enacted the laws. Even myself, I am waiting when the laws will get enacted and the CA will be operational. But what I've heard from the grapevine, that there are some changes which are being brought into the CA and it will be done soon. But why it is not done so far, sir, I don't have an answer. Regarding the Atiq, the communique which I told you, out of 39 Muslims, this is given by the ADG UP Police. So it was communicated by UP Police. This is not the source-based information I have. And regarding, you asked about the farm bills. Sir, if you look at the farm bill was a revolution which is even being implemented today at the state level. Now, there is no central bill, but a lot of states have already implemented these legislations. Farm bill was just an tool which was orchestrated by a lot of international powers to bring down Modi, because there was nothing wrong in farm bills. You have seen Mia Khalifa, Rihanna, Meena Harris, Greta Thunberg. What the hell they have got to do with farm bill? Do they know what is the difference between a jawar and a bajra? Do they know what is ragi and a bajra? They won't know. They won't know what is the difference between a jawhar and kalsi or a alsi. They won't know this. But these people have been orchestrating. Mia Khalifa, with due respect to her, she is a farmer. You know, what does she do? And Rihanna sued her father because her father used her name on his website without her approval. But she's a farm sympathizer. Then you see, where did the money come from? Where did this orchestration come from? Because farming community is one of the biggest vote banks or one of the biggest vote chunk in India. Somehow it was tried to show that Modi is anti-farmer. Modi is pro-industrialist. That is what the farm protest was about. It was never about anything. And even if you look at, we have bought the highest amount of produce at the MSP. Our godowns are full, almost 2 years of stocks.
I need to add something before we go on. See, we are missing one other important player who has issued a statement, Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda has also issued a statement, just like Bahrain does. What the heck does Al-Qaeda have to do with anything? I'm going to read some portion of this. This is, this is ridiculous. These guys have been defrocked and dismantled, and they still don't learn. The conditions in India are also no different. The copies of the Quran and Madaris were burnt down in ashes in Bihar and the uproars of Jai Sri Ram. Muslims were martyred in front of live television cameras by aiming guns at their heads in Uttar Pradesh. Saffron flags were waved atop the masjid in Rajasthan. These people should be the last ones talking about it. Yet there is Al-Qaeda, there is there is entity, there is Al Jazeera, will blah, 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 will talk. That is Qatar. India hasn't done anything. India also bowed down to Qatar, which was very disappointing to people like me, that, the country of, you don't try to say that we are, the third largest GDP PPP, and you can't even take Qatar head on. Anyway, those are all my frustrations. Let it go. आप कुछ बोलना चाहते हैं Al-Qaeda के बारे में? हाँ.
Well, I will add. I remember there was, I was on a TV debate, on a national TV debate. I think it was General Ata Hussain who was with me. And there was one, this Ayman al-Zawahiri once told, Inshallah, one day we'll have the Al-Qaeda flag on Red Fort. And me and generals have told him that you will die with this dream in your head, and that day will never come. Forget the day you will have your flag on the Red Fort. You are born with this dream. Your generations will be born with this dream. For last 1400 years, people have born and died with this dream. You will die with this dream. I was very direct with him, man. That day will never come. Now, these people, Al-Qaeda, if you look into their character, what all businesses they are not into? Arms smuggling, drug trade, flesh trade, yet they say Muslims. They're the people who have killed maximum number of Muslims in the world. They're the people who have raped maximum Muslim girls in the world. They're the people who have abducted maximum Muslims in the world. Whom have you killed? What have you done to the whole world? Have you ever built a wall? You have dismantled and destroyed everything in your whole life. That is what your existence is. Your money comes from drug trafficking. You say you are the perpetrators of Islam and your main money is flushed in drug trafficking. That is what you are. Remember who you are and never ever dare to come here. Because if you come here, it will be a one-way ticket to hell. There's no coming back.
Also, Kamalaksh, one small observation. I'm trying to answer your direct question, Sumitji, with your permission. What should India do? थप्पड़ मारना है बहरीन को, थप्पड़ really मारना है इतना जबरदस्त कि उसको चाटा लगकर 2 दिन तक he has to keep touching his face to make sure that the pain goes away. You know what he needs to do? Where did it happen? Prayagraj. Have the DSP call a press conference. Have a sub-inspector who can speak good Shuddha Hindi. Take on Bahrain's parliament, listen 1, 2, 3, 4 and rebut them with facts. Okay, then they'll get the lesson. वहां पर parliament हो रहा है, यहाँ पर district का PRO बोल रहा है क्या हुआ. That is the way to hit back.
And I'll tell you, sir, within this Qatar, by the way, these Qataris, with due respect to them, what was Zakir Naik doing in Qatar? Is Zakir Naik the angel of peace and goodwill? And secondly, there was a time, Sri sir, when we were depending, I'll be direct with you, we'll be depending 45% of our natural gas, PNG, CNG, it was coming from Qatar. Now with the Kaveri Basin third well on, and we have got some tie-ups with in Algeria now done. With that, we have reduced it from 45% to around 22%. It's a matter of time, another 1 year, 6 months, by the time we don't need any gas from Qatar. We will not need any gas from Qatar. Then is the time we'll teach them what you are. And let me tell you one more interesting fact about Qatar. A lot of people think Qatar is a very rich country and they are the highest per capita income. The GDP is around $300 to $350 billion, but the population is only 3 million. So if you divide 350 billion by 3 million, there looks to be a very higher GDP in the world, highest per capita income in the world, and yet 74% of the money comes from your natural gas sale. The day alternates of natural gas are coming, we are coming up with hydrogen trains, we are coming with liquid hydrogen, we are starting the electrolysis of the hydrogen, and we are starting with alternate fuels. It's a very soon time, there will be no bias of your gas. Then you have to go back to your camel business. Camel is a good business.
Let's go on to the next question, please. We have to finish up in a few minutes. So, Sambuddin Bhattacharya wants to know just one question, Sambuddin. Sambuddha. Also, one other thing that India is not doing against Qatar, Sumitji, 3,000 workers died building this city and this World Cup stadia. Okay, of them, more than half of Indian origin. Half of them are Muslim brothers and sisters.
Correct.
India is yet to make a statement about the human rights abuses that took place in Qatar. You need to rake all these things up. This is the time to do it. This is the time to do it. अब हो गया, वो लोग बेचारे सब जा गए, चले गए हैं. At least make sure they won't open their mouth next time. See, इनका मुंह बंद करने के लिए कई तरीके हैं. I don't know why India doesn't do it. वो ग्राम जाने क्या हो रहा है. Another thing आपको पूछना था, Sakhalin Island, India has a lot of stake there. Does it have natural gas? Do you know?
I think it has natural gas, and yet the production has not started. But the production is it's a few months.
It's going to start.
I think if my memory serves me right, sir, another 6 to 12% dependence will reduce after the Sakhalin. So we will have some natural gas coming from there as well. And I want to bring one point, sir. I have been very vocal on national TV. You know, when this football World Cup was held there, what was Zakir Naik doing there? First point. Why were you saying that people cannot kiss in the public? Why were you saying people cannot have alcohol around, outside the stadium? Why were you saying that anybody who is a gay will hang him? Why were you have to be covered? Now, either you cannot have the both sides of the coin. Either don't oppose the FAA or let the people who are liberal enough to vote the FAA. You cannot have the FAA, cannot hold the World Cup, and also you cannot have both the things running together. Today, world might need your gas, which is a true, but within due course of time, you are getting more and more isolated. You have to remember that, because there's a long time will not need your gas. And you I raised this point, Sri sir, on national TV. Why the people have been killed? Why nobody is talking about them? At the end of the day, our brothers and sisters who got killed, and it seems to be all okay. I mean, how come they were awarded this FAA when a gangster like Atiq is killed, Bahrain is talking about it. Why Bahrain is not today talking about these 3,000 people killed, which were all Muslims mostly? Most of them are Muslims. Or is it only one kind of Muslims that are being talked, or which are very rich and prosperous? This Pasmanda Muslim or the poor Muslim doesn't he not count? Is that what the reality is? A poor Muslim doesn't count. If you are a rich and a powerful and an influential Muslim, you count. People will talk about you. Is there a new division of Muslim in the Muslim world? And why this Muslim world is silent about the Uyghurs? Why nobody is talking about the Uyghurs? Why is Al-Qaeda not talking about the Uyghurs? When Imran Khan Niazi was asked about Uyghurs, he said, we did the investigation, we found nothing. Imran Khan Niazi doesn't know what is Uyghurs. He doesn't know where is Xinjiang, by the way.
Well, viewers, only two people talked about this Qatar incident. One was Tariq Fatehji. I hope he's doing better today. And the other one was PGurus. Nobody else has touched upon this. Very, very sad. See, the thing is, you have to treat all your citizens the same way. And by the way, another additional thing, there was one American journalist who tried to wear a rainbow flag, and he was asked to take off the shirt and before going inside. Guess what happened 2 days later? They found him dead during the World Cup.
Correct.
I'm still waiting for my country, US, to say what the heck happened. See, dekho, ye sabke sab aise hi hain. All bloody. Anyway, chodo. Let's go to the next question. Mr. Bharani Chandar wants to know, Shri, Pakistan keeps on provoking us. They'll never learn their lesson. Shouldn't we finish them completely, at least take out the terrorist leaders, lieutenants and trainers holistically? सुमित जी आप बोलिए, मुझे तो ज्यादा इसमें जानकारी नहीं है, आप बोलिए.
Mr. Chandar, namaskaram. Sir, the problem here is that according to Imran Khan Niazi, there are 50,000 terrorists there. And by the grace of God, at the fertility rate of 3.4%, they would have become 100,000 by this date. Your whole of Punjab is radicalized. Textbooks are radicalized. If you talk to the 18 years or 15 years, 12-year-old kids, they talk of 𝙒𝙤𝙤𝙦 Hind. This is the reality of life. This is how Pakistan operates. Now,
this is Pakistani Punjab. I'm sorry, this is Pakistani Punjab.
So there's a Punjab here, there's a Punjab there. Now Balochis are not like that. Pathans are not like that. And Sindh is not like that. Minus that, and you know where does the army come from? 95% of the army is from Punjab. And where is Lashkar-e-Toiba, this Jaish Muhammad's so-called Jaish, which were discussed in headquarters, Bahawalpur. Where is Bahawalpur? Punjab. How much it is from Indian Bikaner? 136 kilometers. So Punjab is where does Hafiz Saeed operate from? Punjab. So Punjab is a radicalized. So it is not question of taking out few terrorists. We are talking of a few million people here. They are equally radicalized. And I want to tell you one more important point, sir. Pakistan is a highly weaponized society. You can get license for any weapon. That too in Punjab you need license. Islamabad you need license. If you go to Balochistan you need no license. And in KPK you can have as many guns you want. You can carry AKs on your shoulder. Nobody will ask you a question. That is KPK. Hyderabad in Sindh still some kind of license needed. Balochistan and KPK there is no need for a license. In Pakistan you will be surprised. There will be a car going in Islamabad. It will be written protected by Glock, protected by AK. You write it on a car or a SUV. This is the reality of life. You know what we are talking about. Guns are sold like potatoes. No license. You can keep as many as you want. So, it's a different society, sir, what we're talking about. It's not like India. And they are not civilized. They're all radicalized people. Highly radicalized. The education system radicalizes them. The education system is like that, which radicalizes them.
One little thing that I found out yesterday, and I want to share it, and I want to know if, Sumiji, if you've heard about this. Remember the guy who pulled down the flag of India on the British, in London's India High Commissioner building? That guy who pulled down the flag?
Yeah.
You know what the government did? This is even Aam Aadmi Party, because the local government is. They've actually bulldozed his parents' property in Punjab. And some cousin of this, we should confirm this, because a cousin of his who is in Fremont, who is agitating down Hindu phobia. Inko akal hi nahi hai, I'm telling you. They were actually saying down Hindu phobia, and this girl says that, oh, my cousin who pulled down the flag is freedom of expression. No, freedom of expression doesn't happen in a consulate building. Consulate building belongs to India. First, get your bloody facts right.
It is Republic.
Yeah.
Sir, Republic of India, that piece of land is India. Within that
Exactly.
boundary, it is India. It is us. You are insulting the national flag of India. You are infringing into our border and insulting our flag. That is the reality of life. It is
So
not
these are
UK.
happening now. So there is going to be repercussions. If you do something here and we figure out who you are, where your family lives in Punjab, this is happening. Bulldozer Raj is coming now. Time for trying to give this freedom of expression is all over now, because they are beginning to harm, innocent people's lives. You saw this shootout in Gurudwara in
Yeah,
Sacramento, Sumitji. I
yeah,
mean,
20
this
people.
is nasty people.
Yes.
दो
And
criminal
these are
syndicate हैं. Yeah.
two
अभी
criminal
भी ना
syndicates.
अभी भी ना that singer Sidhu Moosewala, his killer Goldie Brar is still at large. And Bhagwan Singh just says he's been captured. Where is he? He's not been captured. He's still at large.
It's not being
US
captured.
also has a huge problem now. We are not just sitting quiet here. बहुत problems हो रहे हैं आजकल इनसे. Anyway, just wanted to tell that update. Let's go to the next question.
I made a comment on a TV. I said, US, by doing this, you are helping yourself, because these people are tomorrow going to hurt you also. It's not they are hurting Indian interests, because they are organized syndicates now.
So 17 have been arrested. Only 5 are remaining. There will be an update soon. Please watch PGurus. We'll give you that update. Magnet Ranga wants to know, Namaste, there was a report in a hangout that Pak diplomats were carrying fake currency and illegal stuff in their diplomatic bags for their illegal activities in India whenever they came for conferences in India. How can India stop this? Magnet Ranga, why are you not asking why the UAE diplomatic pouch had gold bars, man? That is 100 times more lethal.
I would, Rangaji Namaskaram. Sir, thank God they were not carrying plutonium and uranium, because these Pakistanis are at terrorists. They can even carry that. Next time, we may not be able to stop the fake currency, but we have to do that swap, what we do in US airports, and put it in a machine. We don't know what the hell they can be smuggling. And by the way, there are some Indian celebrities who have relatives in Pakistan and whose relatives are related to Taliban. Whenever they come to USA, they are subject to cavity checking. I mean, that's the world we live in.
I know who you are mentioning. लोगों को बहुत, our viewers are very smart. You can put it by way of comments who you think is the person that Sumitji just mentioned. Next. Ishan, thank you so much. Jai Hind sir, this is the same person who openly called our great and honorable PM a butcher in the UN. ये लोग प्यार से समझने वाले लोग नहीं हैं, लातों के भूत भातों से नहीं समझते. Thank you, Ishan, and I don't think he's just making an observation there. Let's go to the next question, please. Poonam Abhi wants to know, Sriji, what time was it when the girl spoke of the freedom of speech? जरूर 12 बजे. नहीं, पूनम जी ऐसा नहीं है बात. There was a resolution being passed condemning Hindu phobia in Fremont City. You all know the case. There was a Indian origin American, very pretty tall guy who was abusing a family which was eating a vegetarian food in Taco Bell, which is a fast food restaurant. And that guy finally got reported and he got jailed. And there was a real need. 28% of Fremont, 27 to 28% is Indian origin. So there are a sizable amount of Hindus here, and there was a feeling that Hindu phobia was happening. See, the thing is, these are busloads of people who get trucked. They are getting paid money, and then they get coached right in front of TV. Then Murray Soundarajan is coming. Do. This is what she's doing. So they tells you they have no clue what they are fighting for. They've just come there, and then they just start mouthing, hurling abuses. That's all they are. She's instigating all the people to hit, and then she says, "No violence, no violence." It's all visible. And this is going to stop. Go ahead, sir.
I wanted to make one point, and incidentally, that today the news came that Bangladesh has also agreed to do rupee trading, so that makes it the 20th country. So if India is such a bad country and Muslims are targeted, there's an imminent Muslim genocide, and Hindus are fascist, racist, and Islamophobic, and all that. How come these Muslim countries are ready to do rupee trading with these kafirs? We are such bad people, such racist people, such ruthless barbarians. Why are they doing rupee trading with us? Why are they doing FTAs with us? Why is the whole world going to do FTAs with us? This answers where the propaganda is. This answers what the ISI is doing. So are you saying all the people in the Muslim world are blind? All the Muslim countries are blind? Or have we bought them all? None is the case. Why this is happening? This is the answer that these people should give. This is the answer Bahrain should know. Why is Bahrain doing rupee trading with us?
Thank you so much, Sumit-ji. That brings us to a close on today's program. A lot of emotional data, but remember, we are always factual. We don't stray away from facts. Thanks once again. Please do follow us on Twitter at Sumit P191, 𝙤𝙬𝙤1, and PGurus. And as always, a pleasure having you, sir. See you next week.
Namaskaram, sir. Namaskar to all, and thank you very much, Sadhuwad.